Problem today than a little bit.
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a Giant, and he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good afternoon for you, Byron. Good evening for me. And
how you doing?
I'm doing great. And you're out in Phoenix for the Super Bowl.
Out here in Arizona.
Yeah.
The land of the desert.
Yes. The Valley of the Sun.
Yeah.
The Valley of the Sun.
Man, it's heating up out here. People are flying in. The airport is full.
Yeah.
I mean, people are everywhere out here. They are wearing Super Bowl. They're wearing green. They're wearing red. You talking about the fans are excited. Today I got in town, and it's been nonstop.
It's not uncommon, though. It's not uncommon for that area for them to prepare for it. They're used to big events there. Also, they have the Phoenix Open going on, the Waste Management Open. So
That's right. There's a lot of people out here for that.
Golf.
And today, I think they had new owners for the WNBA team. They was introducing the new owners out here as well. So it's a lot of sports talk and sports excitement. Yeah.
A little bit of news on the WNBA. The Las Vegas Aces of the WNBA, the Women's Basketball League, National Basketball League, they got in trouble because they were paying players under the table.
Got in trouble for paying players under the table? Why?
Under the table. They give them a contract. They have a salary cap. But Mark Davis circumvented. He made a company, and basically they said they were doing appearances and everything and was paying them more under the table than they made with their regular salary.
I think that's part of sports. I mean, you got to pay players and, make it good for them. I mean, they really underpaid. So
yes,
I can see that. I don't see no wrong in that myself.
Yeah, but I guess there's something that they were trying to circumvent the salary cap. So they're doing an investigation on it. But let's get away from that. A lot of things going on. LeBron broke Kareem Abdul's record last night. Congratulations.
Congratulations, number six.
Yeah. Number 6.
Yeah, he wearing number 6 at the Lakers now. He's number 6.
He trying to sell more jerseys.
I guess he got different jerseys for different cities that he played in.
Yeah, but he broke Kareem's record, and it's a great accomplishment. Oh, here he is. There he is.
That's Jason. What's up, Jay?
There, we just talked about that, Jason. You were late. And
I did see a lot of golfers bring a lot of golf clubs in through the airport today. So I think that Waste Management golf tournament is going to be big and huge.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of golf courses in the Phoenix Metroplex. A lot of people retire there just to play golf.
Yeah, great place to play. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I hit a ball today on the golf course. We played at the Raven Golf Course, and I hit the ball so far down there. Tank Johnson said, "Man, you are legit, man. You're down there pro." I said, "Man, me and Tiger Woods, we got some commonality."
Oh, we got to get away from this. April 3rd is when Jim Jeffcoat and friends, Byron will be there here in El Dorado Country Club here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're going to see because I'm going to be his partner, and we're going to finally end this.
Frisco, Texas. You can't win your own tournament, Jim. You the host.
I have to ride around. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna ride around with you. I might hit a couple, but
You got to ride around and shake hands and collect money.
exactly. But let's get on to football. And since Jason's here, we're going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings first. First, Kirk Cousins comes in the Pro Bowl, and he is the flag football champion. He came back and did some good things in flag football.
But maybe they need to put him in flag football.
It's going to be an Olympic sport. It's going to be an Olympic sport.
It's moving. It's moving in all trends. I read where it's 40% increase in flag football across the country.
I can see that.
And it's growing across the world, global. So it's gonna be exciting to see young people and girls and everybody playing flag football.
Yeah, and that's the one thing is because did you know that down in Florida, some of the college teams already have women's flag football?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know it was coming. I didn't know they already had it in place.
Yeah, because I was watching this show called The Warriors of Liberty City. It was kind of interesting because LeBron produced it. And one of the girls that was in it as a cheerleader, she is now in college playing flag football for a team down there. I think it's called St. Thomas, St. Thomas University. But it's becoming bigger and bigger. And they said it. I didn't see. I didn't watch the Pro Bowl, but they said it turned out well, and it was pretty interesting. But that's not the only news for the Minnesota Vikings. Brian Flores is the new defensive coordinator.
Brian Flores. Oh, that's gonna be a big improvement. It should be anyway.
Yeah, that'll be a huge improvement for him. But he was with the University of Miami. I mean, not university. Excuse me, the Miami Dolphins, and then he was with the Steelers as a senior assistant last year. And now he's with the Minnesota Vikings, and they're going to have to make some changes, but that should help their defense having Flores there.
Because I mean, you can see what the Steelers defense did as well. I mean, the Steelers defense turned it up at the second half of the season.
Yes, they did. Because I think he coached the linebackers.
He did. He was a linebacker coach.
Yeah. So, but that should be interesting. That should help Minnesota with their team because they'll have a guy that's done well on defense and he should be prepared. A lot of things going on in the NFL. Obviously, Sean Payton is starting to get his staff together, and he's starting to get them. Actually, he had the special teams coach Mike Westhoff might come out of retirement and work for. He worked for Payton in New Orleans.
Okay.
And he might come to Denver for Sean Payton. And he took a former offensive lineman, I think his last name is Streff, and he worked with him at New Orleans and brought him on his staff.
Okay. Well, that's one thing about Sean Payton. Now he knows a lot of people.
Yeah, but it's interesting also is he called it out right as soon as he got there. They asked him about Russell Wilson having his personal trainers come in the building, and he said that ain't gonna happen. Not on his watch. They're not gonna be allowed in the building. His personal trainers, Russell Wilson's, and he said
that right there just goes to show you that there's gonna be some order in place.
Yeah, and he said they're gonna find out what Russell Wilson does well, and that's what they're gonna build around. And that's what he was saying on Russell Wilson. He said, we're going to build around what he does well, which I told you at the beginning of the season is that's what you should be doing, is building around what the guy does well.
Right.
And I think there was, like you said, there'll be order because they're not going to let the inmates run the prison anymore. They're going to have some control over it because Sean,
It's definitely all about trying to get the right. I think in the next 4 to 6 months, it's gonna be a lot of things that take place over there with the Broncos.
Yeah, and then also you got to remember that and people don't realize this, Jimmy Johnson, and I knew this, that Mike McCarthy's and Sean Payton's records are pretty similar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're pretty similar there. Pretty similar.
But, you know, Mike McCarthy is not a loser, though. He been very successful.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be calling the plays. You know, they got that in place where he's going to be calling the plays. And I know they got Schottenheimer going to be an office coordinator.
Yes, Brian Schottenheimer. Now,
Yeah.
I think they took Mike Solari as the offensive line coach. And Mike Solari is interesting because when I was a player, he was the offensive line coach for 2 years under Tom Landry.
Yeah, I think you got it right, Jason. I think number 9, we'll see what he got. I mean, he was close this year. But Flores, probably going to be that 1 year. He probably going to be up for a head coaching job. But, you know, it ain't going to be – I don't know how many head coaching jobs every year. Seems like it's 4 or 5 head coaching jobs every year.
But let's look at some of the teams that possibly could be changing. Cleveland. Do you really want to go to Cleveland? This could be possibly a change in Pittsburgh. And then, you know, if Bill Belichick doesn't do well, who knows? I wouldn't foresee it, but you never know in this day and age. And obviously, the Washington Commanders are always a chance.
They
might be going through a transition with ownership, which they said that Jeff Bezos is still not out of it. He just that Daniel Snyder doesn't want to sell to Bezos because Bezos owns the Washington Post, and they've been really negative about Snyder.
Yeah.
So,
but it might not be that many job openings next year, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, I would agree. But you never know. There's always that surprise one that you didn't think about.
That's true.
There's always that surprise.
That is so true.
And, you know, speaking about that, DeMeco Ryan down in Houston, I mean, he better put a good staff together because the last coach is only last of the year.
Hey, you get one shot down there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
you better put a good staff, and they better get – well, the one thing, most contracts in the NFL are 3 years, and it's guaranteed. So,
yeah.
Paying a lot of money to a lot of people.
Well, that just goes to show you how much money these owners got. I mean, they don't care. You one shot out of there and you can go.
Yeah.
Just think about what the coach is doing right now that was here in Arizona.
That's true. He's over in Thailand on a one-way ticket, him and his girlfriend.
He said he don't want to talk to nobody for a year. Huh?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's legal if you think about it, because you're supposed to be looking for a job.
Yeah.
And
well, it's guaranteed. He has signed a contract to 2027, though,
right?
But
there's that little, always that fine print in there. But I guess they're not going to fight it.
Yeah.
But
take a vacation.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk a little bit. We're jumping around a little bit. What happened with Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant and his buddies were putting lasers in the Indiana Pacers bus. The Pacers thought that maybe they had guns and stuff and had laser sights on them.
Right.
I mean, something's the matter with the Grizzlies. That Dylan Brooks, what he did to Donovan Mitchell at Cleveland, he got suspended one game. But there's something the matter with the Memphis Grizzlies. They're an unusual team.
Well, that goes to show you they got a lot of young players and immature things. So these guys just having a good time. But that's where the coaches and some of the leaders need to come in at. They need a mature guy on that bench or somewhere to help lead and guide those guys. Yeah,
but because it's Dylan Brooks. He's got in a fight with Donovan Mitchell. He got in a fight with Shannon Sharp. He got a shot with sharp.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, this guy is
John Moran, man, he was supposed to be the next figure, next icon of basketball.
yeah.
And looking forward to him doing some exciting things. And man,
Yeah.
I hope he don't mess that up.
I do too. I agree with you. So that's our basketball. Let's get back to football. Roger Goodell said today that NFL refereeing is the best it's been. He said it's not perfect, but it's the best it's been in years.
Depending on what game you're watching.
It's pretty bad at every game.
It ain't been improved. To me, it hasn't really improved. I think they done made some drastic improvements, but it still got ways to go.
Yeah, I agree. And then he also said something interesting. He was saying that there's a possibility that they will flex Thursday night games. That's going to be difficult because you're coming home from a game, even if you did it a couple weeks. But you telling players basically they got a short window to get prepared for the next game, even if you give them a little notice. So that's a little bit, I think.
I don't see how that's going to work. Not in football. I mean, I understand them trying to get more games in, 18-week season. Next thing you know, it's going to be a 20-week season.
Yeah.
And, it's hard on the body. Just look at how many guys were in reserve this year and how many guys couldn't finish the season.
Yeah, but here's an interesting thing. He said something about that in concussions. Roger Goodell said basically that it wasn't because they played one more game. It's because they've had they're better at identifying concussions.
Well, I think they're better at identifying concussion. They really watch it. They got the referees watching the players as well. So they've got some protocols in place to help with identifying when it happened, when somebody get a ding out there on the football field. But in the long run, even they had those caps in training camp. I mean, in the training camp, the 2-week training camp, they had those what you call those caps they had?
Guardian.
Remember? Huh?
Guardian caps.
Yeah, the Guardian caps, which helped. All the linemen and the tight ends were wearing it this year. And I think they're going to continue to do that. But, I still, though, there's certain things on the pro level that you just have to think about. And 18 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah, and Boston University just came out with a study on, or I mean, it was Harvard University. They, I guess, they looked at 374 players and for concussion systems or CTE symptoms. And out of that, they had 364 players that had those symptoms and concussion.
Out of 374, they had 364. They had what?
Yep.
That's like 90%.
That's what they were saying. It was an unusual amount. Unusual. Wow. And we're both 60. That kind of makes you a little nervous.
That's why I read every day. I do some reading. I do some exercises. I do some puzzles.
If you read the horse races, that don't count.
I love horse races, that's for sure.
But I thought that was interesting. And then there was some things he said that he thinks the game is in a better place. They're going to have more games in Germany. But there are players. Germany's an interesting place because there are some football teams that play semi-pro.
Yeah, Munich, Germany. Well, the military had a lot of games and stuff over there, and it went over real well with the country football, and they got an active group of fans and people over there. So I can see that happening.
Yeah. I think that would be better than places like Italy or some of those other places because Brazil, because the Germans are a bigger group of men. Because you see a lot of now you're seeing from those countries a lot of basketball players. And my son, who plays in Canada, they have some German players that play up in Canada.
Yeah, that and the sports is becoming. They want the sports to become global. So I don't know if it'll be an NFL type case scenario, but it's definitely going to need some type of pro type league over there in Europe, which would help with the excitement. I mean, you only can do so much in soccer, so you definitely need football. It's a special game.
Now we had one who played for us at the University of Houston. He was a German, and he was what do you call those students that transfer over?
Oh, exchange students.
Exchange student. His name was Sebastian Vollmer, and he was 6'7", weighed about 300 pounds, really athletic, and he got drafted by the Patriots and actually started on the Patriots, one of their Super Bowl teams for a couple of years. Yeah, he was an offensive tackle, really athletic, good at it.
We had a German on our in the World League when in Orlando, because they always had one player from Europe that was on the team. They was like an ambassador, and they was assigned to go back when the season would go back and teach, the students and the athletes a little bit more football.
Because you have people from Japan, people from Italy, and various places, that played on these world football teams.
I know it was a couple of kickers that from Japan that was trying to kick. They can't like kicking soccer ball or the soccer ball.
No, it's a little different. But they had various players from various places that in the World Football League, and they do that in Canada too. Remember, they started doing that a little bit in the United States in the NFL.
Yeah.
So,
and I tell you, another crossover game is rugby. So
because the offense, Jordan Mailata is the starting left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's where they showed clips of him playing rugby, and I want to say New Zealand.
Yeah.
So, you're right. And then I had a couple. Dave Dixon, he was from New Zealand, and he was native, which they call Maori. Okay. And he played with me at Arizona State, and he played in the NFL too for various. But he started for Minnesota. He was huge and really athletic. He was really athletic. So you're right.
Those guys over there be big boned too.
Yeah, and the Polynesians and everything. Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. The good thing, just coming here today, I was, walking through the airport and the stewardess, she's the three generation stewardess in the family. Her grandmother was a stewardess, the mom was a stewardess, she was a stewardess, and her name was Casey. And she came up to me and talked to me, and she said, my great grandmother told me to always carry an autograph book. She found out I played football. And so she brought the autograph. I said, bring the autograph book to me. So I went to the back. I was in first class. And Corey Proctor was on the plane with me. And so I went back there and got Corey. So I said, look, you got a Giant autograph, you got a Cowboy autograph. And that made her day. She was so happy. But I thought that was good that her great grandmother told her to carry an autograph book. She said her great grandmother said that she been on a plane with Muhammad Ali, George, all those famous people, and she wished she would have got their autograph. That's what she told me.
Third generation flight attendant, huh?
Right. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Yeah.
That is.
So you never know when you're gonna meet them, and you never know who's gonna be famous. Like Jim Jeffcoat, famous, renowned. Whenever you get his autograph, you got some golden.
Yeah, that's true. That is you, but you're right.
Yeah, it was a good day. This lady on the plane, she started talking to me. She said, "I'm so glad I spoke to you." When I get on the plane, somebody's sitting in my seat. You know, I said, "Look." He said, can you sit over there in that one? I said, "No, I don't want to sit on. I'm not a window guy. I don't sit on windows." He said he wanted to sit there with his wife. I said, "Well,
Oh man!
I said, bro, but hey, I tell you what, you gonna have more time with your wife on
Wow!
this
I
on this
can't
two
believe
hour
you were that
flight.
mean.
On this 2 hour flight, you gonna set your butt on the other side."
Man, I can't believe you did that.
Well,
That's mean.
I was nice about it. I was nice about it.
Yeah. So
But that's why people can't make up their own rule. That's a good example. That's what you want to teach people and kids. Don't make up your own rule. If you want to purchase the tickets where you and your wife can sit together. That's what I
yeah,
always try to do.
yeah, yeah. But maybe the tickets they didn't have any tickets left. You never know.
Well, he said it, but the lady was real nice, and she accommodated them, and
It was a nice lady, not like you or me, man.
yeah. Well, I had a rough night last night.
Yeah, because
It
the
didn't
rain.
sleep. I didn't get no sleep last night because the storms came into Dallas,
Yeah, they
and
did.
it was terrible.
I slept well, but you're not like me, so
Well, your head is bigger, so
that has nothing to do with it.
when you got a big head like that, you got to go to sleep.
No, it has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it.
Uh,
You were
no,
worried.
but it was overall it was a good day. Coming out here to the desert,
Mhm.
and what I like about getting off the plane, people are everywhere. They have people stage sitting down, and they say, "Do you need a schedule? Do you need this? Do you need that? Do you want to know about this?" And it was real hospitality.
You
It
gotta
was
remember,
good,
that's where I went to college at.
and that's what Jim went to. Jim this is his hometown, so I
Yeah.
know
Well, it's not
how.
my hometown, but
But I know it's your second home though. It's your second
yeah,
home.
it holds a special place in my heart.
But the people, it was really good. It was good to come out here to see that. Walking off the plane, and seeing the people, being hospitality and real, just joyful to greet people and
Oh yeah,
ask them, "Do you want anything?" They was handing out booklets and things like that.
yeah, yeah. And it was interesting. They did a mural for the Super Bowl, and it was Native American in Spanish. The lady who did it was the biggest mural ever done for a Super Bowl.
Okay.
You can see it. It's downtown Phoenix. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of history in that area in the Phoenix Metroplex and all that area. And because of the Native Americans and the Spanish are very ingrained into the Phoenix and Metroplex society.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But let's talk about a little bit. They were talking about the top 5 quarterbacks. Lawrence Taylor, I think. Well, not Lawrence Taylor. They were saying that the top 5 quarterbacks ever. Who would your top 5 ever be?
Quarterbacks?
Yeah.
These guys called me all week about Tom Brady. They say, "I can't believe Tom Brady." I said, "Tom Brady is the best,
You think so?
Tom Brady, well, just because of what he did and the length of time that he played. So you got all the records. So you have to say Tom Brady, is one of the best.
One of them. Who else?
Yeah, one of the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
One of the top 5. I think Joe Montana can be in that conversation. Yeah. Joe Montana.
I would agree.
Man, I grew up watching the Cowboys. I love Roger Staubach, man. He made things happen. You have to put a Cowboy in there. You have to put either Troy or Roger in there just because of what they mean to that star.
I would have put Roger Staubach before him.
Okay.
And I love Troy. Don't get me wrong, but I think
Yeah,
Rogers.
yeah. I think Roger be one of the guys that you have to say because his commitment, going into the military as well, and
Mhm.
some of the things that he had to do in life, and not what you doing after football. Um, I I love the way Brett Favre played. He 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 was a guy that kind of turned the corner for the quarterbacks. Some guys
Mhm.
turn like Peyton Manning is one of those guys that turn the corner for the quarterback. Meaning that these guys started getting paid, and not only that, they started having these spectacular careers. They're still at the top of the games right now. With the Super Bowl wins and the yardage, the touchdowns, um, and the players that they had in their midst. And so Peyton Manning to me, man, was he the Omaha. He did some things that brought
Yeah.
excitement to the game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I
How
think
about
I think another player that nobody talked about is Warren Moon. Warren Moon, um, he was a heck of a quarterback. He put that ball right there. So it's hard to say the top five, um, but the fact and everybody's already predicting Patrick Mahomes gonna be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever too. So and that position is just a special position.
yeah, yeah, and it is. It is, but they had Brady in there, and they didn't have any. They didn't have Brett Favre, and they had Roger Staubach. They had Johnny Unitas. Um, they had
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, and then they also had John Elway.
Johnny Elway. Yeah, and I was gonna say the class of '83 and the class I came out with, and you too. You got Elway, Marino,
Kelly,
yeah, Brian Kelly,
no,
um,
Jim Kelly. You
yeah,
are asleep.
Jim Kelly, and Todd Blackledge. He was
Yeah,
a bus
Todd
driver.
Blackwood,
Yeah,
um,
and Kenny O'Neill.
Kenny
Um,
O'Neill, Tony Eason.
yeah, Tony Eason. Yeah, it was a
Tony
good
Eason.
group of guys coming out of college
And
that
then,
year.
yeah, Blackledge was the one who probably was the worst quarterback out of that one.
Who was that?
Because Blackledge,
Oh yeah, Tom Black. Yeah.
Blackledge, that was an outstanding class for quarterbacks. So
Yeah.
so there.
But it was Elway Marino for the top two.
Yeah, that's true. But that's what was interesting. And the reason I segue to that is that we got two different kind of quarterbacks playing on Sunday in Mahomes and Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You look at talent, Philadelphia's probably got more talent around Hurts than Mahomes has around him. Even, though Mahomes has Travis Kelce, but his receivers without Tyreek Hill are not well known.
Right.
Where A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are difference makers. Miles Sanders is a good back. Although, is it Edward Lahier, the running back, they activated him this week against them. And here's the thing that is interesting to me. People talk about this, but you got to remember, Kansas City beat San Francisco and scored 44 on them. You there? But they scored 44 on there. Dallas scored 1 points against Philadelphia?
Yeah, they scored 41 points.
So I don't know,
And plus, this is a 5-hour game. This is not your regular football game.
That's true.
This game is an hour. You got an hour halftime show. Blah blah blah. So it's a long game, and it's a unique, unusual game, and that means that the Kansas City Chiefs have a little bit more experience on how to prepare for a longer game.
Yeah,
Just
and
based off of what happened the last 3 to 4 years with them.
yeah. And a side note is that I guess Andy Reid fired Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
And they asked Nick Sirianni about that, and asked him, and he said, "Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I mean, and there will be,
Yeah.
but and people are saying that obviously Philadelphia's defense has played well. They knocked out Brock Purdy. I think if Brock Purdy didn't get injured, the game would have been different. I don't know if the 49ers would have won.
Yeah. It definitely would have been different, and it would have been close. It would have been a good game.
Yeah, it would have been a good game.
Yeah.
But also, the way I look at it is this is going to be a competitive because of Mahomes. They're not going to be able, but they're probably going to go back and look at what Tampa Bay did against Mahomes. But Mahomes has gotten better every year. And that's my opinion on it. I think Philadelphia will win. I'd like Kansas City to win. But I think Mahomes, if they win, Mahomes is obviously going to be the MVP, either him or Kelsey.
Yeah, and the deal is, I think the NFC East have prepared what is just a conference this year, a division this year that you just got to continue to celebrate.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the Eagles going to have a nod and maybe win by 6 points or something like that when it's all said and done, because just the competition in the NFC East this year was just good from top to bottom.
Do you think the Eagles went all in?
I think they did some great things in the offseason and the draft, and I think when they got AJ Brown, they just set him up perfectly. And then Reddick, when they got him, I think and then Bradbury from the Giants, he's a free agent. I just think they knew kind of what they wanted and they were looking for.
Now, Bradbury wants to go back to the Giants.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then
because of the marketplace, he can make more money, off the football field.
Yeah, and the reason I asked you that is they're saying that, and this is Jerry Jones talking. He said that he's trying to build success extended periods of time. Teams like the Rams and Philadelphia, it's a short period of time because they can't play all those players.
Yeah, the salary cap is coming into effect on a lot of those teams for sure.
Because Jalen Hurts' contract, they have to do something with Jalen Hurts.
What did he make $1 million? What he a little bit over $1 million or something on his contract?
Yeah, but now he might be a $50 million quarterback if he wins the Super Bowl.
And if he get the MVP, they got to pay him.
And then what do you do for the rest of your roster?
Don't have salary cap problems.
Yeah. Speaking of, and then I like I said, I like Kansas City to win. If they win, it's either going to be Patrick Mahomes as the MVP, or it's going to be Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
On defense, Chris Jones is going to be hard. They've never faced anybody like Chris Jones in the interior.
Well, he done had some good games this year, and 15 sacks for the position that he play is outstanding.
Yeah, that's pretty outstanding. So that on there, but Philadelphia, you got those two receivers, and then you got Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned before, Hassan Reddick could take over a game.
He did last week.
Yeah,
week
he could take over
last
the game. So they got some possible guys that can.
And Jalen Hurts can run.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Yeah. What do you think is the best Super Bowl ever? The ones who we won, Jason? Come on, man. The best Super Bowl ever. That's a hard one, Jason.
I think the best Super Bowl ever that I was the one in 2007 I was out here in Phoenix when the Giants played the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots 14-0. Everybody have awarded the Super Bowl to the New England Patriots, and Eli Manning and crew handed them, they lost. That was a good Super Bowl. That was a good Super Bowl, though. Good Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's only been one Super Bowl in the history of the NFL won by 1 point. You know that? That was the 1991 Giants against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, wide left.
19-20.
Wide left.
Yeah, wide left.
Yeah.
1 point. 1 point difference.
I never knew that. Did you know this? No NFL head coach has won a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. Never. Yeah, and you see some of the great coaches in Super Bowl history. They won it with one team, but they couldn't win it with another. It's never been done.
Hadn't been done yet?
Yeah, it hasn't been done yet. It could possibly.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the history of it. So when you think about guys like Sean Payton, can Sean Payton break that and be the first coach to ever win 2 Super Bowl or a Super Bowl with separate teams as a head coach?
Mike McCarthy can do that. He won with Green Bay.
Yeah, he could do it too. He could do it too. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
that is true. But so there's going to be, but the greatest Super Bowl ever, shoot, it had to be with the New York Jets and the Baltimore Colts when Joe Namath guaranteed that win. And then they went out there and won it. I don't know. That's a hard one.
And they hadn't done nothing since, the Jets.
Yeah. The greatest Super Bowl ever, Jason, to answer your question, would be if Kirk Cousins ever got to the Super Bowl and won it. That would have had to have been the greatest. Speaking of quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers said he's going to somewhere in the darkness for a couple of weeks to figure out what he's going to do with the rest of his life. If he's coming back, if he's going to play. He's going in the darkness. No sounds, no noise. It's just going to be completely dark.
That's crazy. People are doing stuff now that it don't make no sense to me.
It doesn't make sense.
But why you got to go into the darkness?
I'm just telling you what it says. Aaron Rodgers is going in the darkness. I didn't choose this.
I got on black tonight. He can call me, and I'll take him to the dark room.
But I just thought that was weird. I'm like, what?
Sometimes people get around the wrong people, wrong influences, wrong thing, and it just I don't know. Put a wedge between you and where you need to be.
Now, Devontae Adams was trying to talk to him into possibly coming to the Raiders. They would have to obviously trade for him, and I don't know what they would have to offer Green Bay to get Aaron Rodgers. But they got to make a decision because they got a 5th-year option with Jordan Love. So they got to make a decision on are they going to give Jordan Love a chance there or somewhere else.
Yeah, it's going to be some interesting things happen for some of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, and David Carr also had permission to talk to the New Orleans Saints, which doesn't make a lot of sense because Carr. The coach was his. They have a long-term relationship. Yeah, he drafted him.
Yeah,
it's down Dennis Allen. But here's the thing: is Carr gets $45 million if he's on the roster after March 1st. They can't. New Orleans. How is Oakland going or Las Vegas going to trade him? He can wait and say, "Hey, I'll just wait."
But looking back at Las Vegas, Derek Carr wasn't a problem.
No,
they lost 4 games that they was up 17 points.
Yeah.
So you have to look at their defense too. So some of the things that they pointing fingers on, but Derek Carr had to take the fall. I just think too that changing coaches like they do and a lot of inconsistency. And then Darren Waller was injured all year, so they have all their weapons. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's Derek Carr's fault.
Yeah. I was watching a little clip on Darren Waller. He's getting tattoos in his head.
Hey, it's the world we live in.
That is the world we live in.
Nothing surprised me.
Yeah, I can't wait till John McGrath starts getting tattoos in his head. I'm waiting for that day.
And when he do, I'm gonna send him a message. I'm gonna call Bill Parcells. That's what he. Hey, that's what he'll get the call from the tuna.
Yeah. But Devontae Adams, is trying to convince Aaron Rodgers to come to Vegas. And then what else is going on? We talked about Daniel Jones. They're trying to sign Saquon Barkley so they can franchise Daniel Jones.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
So that franchise tag to be what, about close to 30 million?
I think so. I think it's 32 million.
Yeah. That's about right.
Yeah. Oh.
I already got the big blue on my back.
Yeah. And you're gonna tattoo me with a big cowboy blue, so I understand that.
The giant blue is better looking than the cowboy
No,
blue.
it's not even close.
Y'all got the dove blue and dove gray.
It's not. You can look up there. That's the real blue. Is the cowboy blue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, silver and blue. So
yeah, that woke up the Big Mac show.
Yeah, he was sleeping over there, so I woke him up. But here's the thing: is that did you know that Patrick Mahomes has a place in North Texas?
Yeah.
He has it in Westlake, out there west of the airport.
Oh, yeah, Westlake? Okay,
Yeah.
that's some big houses in Westlake.
Yeah.
Right next to South Lake.
Yeah. Herschel Walker, before he moved to Georgia, had a place out there.
You know who else had a place out there?
The Jonas Brothers.
No.
Played
for the Steelers.
Terry Bradshaw.
He
I know.
He had a place close to Westlake. Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. The Cowboys aren't mission on Max Sports. That is not true. That is not true. He is an
we're
undercover.
gonna ban the Cowboys. We're gonna ban the Cowboys since football season starts. We ain't gonna talk nothing. We ain't talking about them Cowboys.
He's an undercover Cowboy fan.
How about them I can't see it.
Herschel Walker wanted to play for the Giants. I don't think so. I really don't think so. But quarterbacks, there's going to be some quarterback movement. But here's the interest. Carolina said they're not going to take another veteran quarterback.
They're not?
No, they're going to keep with the quarterbacks they have, and they're going to try Matt Corral. They're going to try, obviously, Sam Darnold. I think they still have him under contract.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to look at some of the quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield's out there. Nobody's talking. Does he go back to the Rams?
The Rams, he liked being out there with the Rams.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, does he go back?
But can you see? Yeah, Matthew Stafford but that's some big salaries right there.
Mm-hmm. Not with Mayfield.
I know. Wait. Yeah, he 18. He around 18, 22,000 though. 22 million.
Do you think they're going to do a deal like they did with Russell Wilson and have Mayfield give him a low contract and give him incentives and really not Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, and then if Mayfield wins the position, they can take the salary cap hit and let Stafford go.
Yeah, they can do that. I always say you're only good as your last play, and Stafford was injured most of the year, but they gonna probably make some decisions, some hard-earned decisions. Yeah, but I know a lot of his contract is guaranteed, though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of his money is guaranteed. That's why.
No,
That's
go
why
ahead.
they were saying that they have to make some decisions on what they want to do.
Yeah. And I was thinking that at some point they got capped because they're talking about getting rid of Jalen Ramsey, who I think has really fallen off. I don't think he's
Yeah.
one of the top cornerbacks in the league. Somebody,
Yeah, he got burned a lot this year.
yeah, he
Sure.
got burned.
He
I think
he
his
did nobody go away from his side. They went to his side.
yeah, yeah, and Jalen Ramsey, and then they got Aaron Donald takes up a big chunk of that salary cap too. And I'm not saying he's talent, but he was injured this year, so you got some big time players that are not performing at their salary cap hits. The same thing with the team from Dallas. You know, you got Tyron Smith, you got Ezekiel Ellis, and you got to make some tough choices. And you got to find a second receiver.
Yeah, and that's where that good general manager come in at. That's where you got to be able to maneuver and massage some money. Ezekiel Elliott, his salary got to come. They gonna move him down. His salary gonna be down. He ain't gonna make as much this year.
But he's not the only one. So going all around the league, they're talking about Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
and some guys are in that situation where they make a lot of money, and they might not be performing to that salary.
Right.
That's the difference with now how things will work. The younger teams are the ones that have the most mobility. The Chicago Bears have more salary cap room than the other team in the NFL, and they're not very good. And they said that they're going to keep Justin Fields, so they're going to go get other players at other positions. And they could.
Well, they kind of got a feeling what they kind of know what they got with Justin Fields in the season that he had. They just got to keep him healthy.
Yeah, and then they can move down a little bit and maybe get some more draft picks. Offensive linemen, or defensive linemen, or DBs, or whatever they need, linebackers, because they still got to replace Roquan Smith.
Yeah, and the good thing about the NFL now, there's so much parity to where you could be 6-9, 6-10 this year, and next year you could be flip the script. You can be 11-7.
That's very true. And we've seen that now. Now let me ask you a question. The Miami Dolphins got Vic Fangio for their defense as the defensive coordinator. They haven't put their staff together yet, all their staff, but I would think that that's a good move for the Miami Dolphins. And the reason I'm saying that, we know how explosive they are on offense. And if they could, they might win the East next year.
They might be the big surprise. I'm telling you, because if you can get your quarterback situation stable and healthy, I mean, they can take a run at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That's what I'm thinking, because they got a lot of upside with it if they can play a little better defense.
They're definitely the best football team in the state of Florida.
Better than Jacksonville?
Right now they are.
Oh, I don't know.
Because of the potential of them scoring points. They just need their quarterback situation finalized.
But Jacksonville is stable at quarterback for the next 10 years. 10, 11
got
years.
a quarterback. Yeah, they got a quarterback.
They got some good receivers now and good running game. So I don't know.
And they got a good coach. They got a good coach. They got a good coach too, though. So
yeah, the one that's on a downward trend is Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So, Byron, what is going on?
Man, people are calling me all day long.
Oh, that's what it is.
And I couldn't get my iPad, my computer up, and so I'm having a problem with that.
So Jason asked me, who did I line up against in the 2 Super Bowls? I lined up against Will Wolford in the first one and House Ballard. And then the second one, I lined up against John Fina, who I played with later in my career, and House Ballard was there still because we played the Super Bowls back to back, Jason, and it was fun. It was fun. The preparation is interesting because this, Byron, is that the first couple of days there they give you freedom, but on Wednesday when it's time to practice, then everything, you have curfews and everything, and prepare yourself for the game. Where the Bills do that.
Yeah, it's focused. They got to make sure that no mental errors, no physical errors. They want you ready to go.
Because you never know if you'll ever go that path again. You never know. It is really hard. It's really hard to get to that path. So
they were talking about, like, Kansas City Chiefs, only 12 players on that team from the previous year Super Bowl.
Yeah. 2 years ago.
It's very hard.
Yeah, you never know. And that's what's so incredible. Patrick Mahomes has been to 5 championship games in a row. He didn't go to the Super Bowl every time, but that's still impressive to go to 5. That's Buffalo Bills stuff, where they didn't win it, but you imagine how hard it is to get to the championship game.
They just go to show you what kind of focus he is. He's great talent. He's a great talent.
Yeah.
And he just make the players around him better, and he
really does.
He leads. He leads in the locker room, off the field. I mean, Andy Reid was just talking about him this week and saying great things about him.
Yeah. And then they were talking about Eric Bieniemy. The owner said that he'd be a tremendous head coach. I mean, there's something, I know what the things are, but there are things in his background that prevent him from getting to that level.
Yeah. And you can see that he don't have the same zest that he used to have just on the sideline. The previous years he was out on the field and more engaged and more involved, but now he's
Yeah. Now they said that he might go interview with the Washington Commanders, and the Ravens.
Yeah, well, it might be time for a change for him. Might be a time.
Yeah, it might be, to give him that opportunity.
Yeah.
Because every year that he doesn't get one, there's always going to be more red flags.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be interesting, this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but the script says it's going to be 37-34. I don't think it's going to be that high. I think it's going to be in the 20s, and I could be wrong.
I think it's going to be that high because of the length of the game, and I just think they're going to have more time to put some points up. Mm-hmm. But you might be right because Philly got defense, and you say Kansas City gonna tighten up their defense, so you might be right.
Yeah. The only thing you worry about in Kansas City is you got 2 rookie cornerbacks starting the game.
Yeah.
You're getting 2 big-time players, so that should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have that fear of most of Hurts's runs have been in the middle, so that's going to be interesting because you got Chris Jones sitting there in that big number 99. He's a big joker too.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
They got the Kelsey brothers. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
They both bring it.
Yeah. And the mom brought them cookies, so they both ready. Hey, but we're getting close to the end. When are you coming back from Phoenix?
I'm coming back Sunday.
Oh, really?
And I'm coming back Sunday, but I might have to go down to Texarkana, so I don't know if I'll be able to be free. And but anyway, I'll be back Sunday.
All right. Yeah. Well, as always, it's good having this time, and be safe in Phoenix, and tell all my buddies hello down there, and enjoy your time down there. And
all I gotta do is just say,
we're doing this show. Yeah.
All I gotta do is mention your name. I got the key to the city.
There you go. You see that big photo of me down there?
Oh yeah, big bucket head, big bucket head.
Whatever. Hey, but it's always great. Have a good evening. Have a good time at the Super Bowl.
See ya. All right.
See everybody.